in Beit in the occupied West Bank have gathered to protest in support of Gaza. Israeli forces shot at 2 Palestinians near an Israeli military post northeast of Ramallah. A mother and her son were wounded. Since Saturday, at least 44 Palestinians have been killed in the occupied West Bank, either by Israeli forces or in settler attacks. Nida Ibrahim is in Beit and she joins us live from there. Nida, tell us more about what's happening.
Well, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, the number of those Palestinians who have been killed today has risen to 9. As we're seeing protests like this one behind me in different areas here in the occupied West Bank. This one, we could say that it's being somehow calming down. We're seeing the intensity ebbing and flowing. But in other areas in the occupied West Bank, we are seeing the excessive use of force by Israeli soldiers against Palestinians. And if you ask them, they would tell you that the excessive use of force against them is not something new. It's just that they've been getting killed by Israeli forces since the beginning of the year, and or at least this year has been deemed as the deadliest in 20 years here in the occupied West Bank. And also, in addition to the violence that we've been seeing by Israeli forces, we've also noticed an increase in force by armed Israeli settlers that are in and around the occupied West Bank, wreaking havoc. Just yesterday, the settlers have attacked a funeral and killed a father and his son. So you can imagine the amount of tension that Palestinians feel here, that they feel that they've been left alone dealing with armed soldiers who have the most advanced equipment, who are using tear gas, using live fire, using rubber-coated steel bullets as well, while you have, on the other hand, Palestinians who only have rocks with their hands. Now, in general, the Palestinian population is unarmed, but we have been seeing in the past 2 years young men grouping with one another in Nablus and in Jenin, carrying up arms and deciding to commit attacks against Israeli targets, whether that in the form of Israeli military checkpoints or in the form of illegal Israeli settlements. Now, we've seen those attacks and shootings increase, but all in all, we talk about a population that feels like it's been left dealing with one of the strongest militaries in the world and left doing so alone.
Nida, as and when and if, I guess we should say, this Israeli offensive proceeds into Gaza, tensions in the occupied West Bank they'll only increase.
Well, as you can see, those protests that we've been seeing here in the West Bank are the largest that we've seen since the beginning of the year, really, because people are glued to their news, to their TVs, and watching what's happening in the besieged Gaza Strip. As you know, they are geographically separated, but they are one nation, one people, and they're suffering under the same military occupation. So you can imagine how they're feeling when they see their friends, their relatives, their fellow Palestinians are being killed in the besieged Gaza Strip without warning. They're seeing now, and what we've been hearing from many Palestinians here, they say that they are witnessing another Nakba. Nakba means catastrophe, and is the word Palestinians refer to when they talk about their displacement in 1948 at the war that saw the establishment of the State of Israel. They're saying now that in Gaza, witnessing another Nakba, while they feel like they're helpless, they can't do much in front of those heavily armed Israeli soldiers, and they feel like the world is leaving them alone, dealing with all of this trauma, all of this pain, while paying attention at the Israeli side.
Make sure to subscribe to a channel to the latest news from RDZ World News.